Hello, my darling friends of the dark. It's Violet Nocturne, here to deliver another tale to chill your veins. Picture, if you will, an endless expanse of black ocean, rippling under a restless moon. Tonight's story is about one man and his personal sea of horrors. It's called The Crimson Hook. Our story begins with Caleb Harker, a burly, sun-weathered fisherman with hands as rough as the ropes he pulls at sea. For decades, he'd labored steadily out on the water, hauling in the fruits of the deep. Fish, crabs, the occasional odd, unmentionable thing. A perfect life for a solitary man. But Caleb had a reputation. While most fishermen respected the ocean as a force that gave life while equally capable of taking it, Caleb cut corners. He fished in forbidden waters, ignored naval warnings, and cared little for sustainability. He used illegal nets and trawled endlessly, leaving devastation in his wake. One thick, fog-drenched morning, while town grocers and sleepy-eyed buyers exchanged fresh catches on the wharf, Caleb prepared for a solo venture. Word around town spoke of an unusually bountiful area, a stretch of water supposedly cursed but uniquely rich. Most avoided it, whispering about the Crimson Hook, a mythical lure said to bring agony and death to those who overfished those seas. But Caleb, a proud skeptic, scoffed at their words. "If the waters are cursed, more for me then," he barked, slamming crates of bait aboard his shabby trawler. The rusting, creaking vessel sputtered as it left the dock, clawing through the brine beneath. Hours of sailing brought Caleb to a serene yet haunting patch of ocean. Above him, gulls seemed wary, their calls distant from the silent, unnatural calm. He cast his net into the water, humming a low tune, triumphant and carefree. It didn't take long. His first haul was extraordinary, shimmering fish in iridescent hues he'd never seen, crabs twice the usual size. Maybe even the Crimson Hook tale was just an old fisher's yarn after all. Greedy exhilaration overtook him, and he continued casting, again and again. But as the trawler's hull filled with the weight of sea creatures, Caleb's surroundings began to change. The sun dulled behind thick clouds. The air thickened, tasting metallic and bitter. The water, not yet crimson, took on a darker, almost black quality. Yet Caleb pressed on, casting and netting by instinct, paying no heed to unease creeping into the recesses of his mind. Then, as he prepared for his final cast, the net snagged. "Damned rocks," Caleb muttered, jerking the winch with violent motions. But it wasn't rocks. With a scream of cranking metal and snapping rope, something rose from beneath the water. At first, it was hard to see, obscured by swirls of dark seaweed and churning, unnatural bubbles. But then, he saw it. A massive, blood-red hook, impossibly large, its curved metal glinting even in the dreary light. The hook swung unnaturally, as though held by an invisible fisherman far below. Before Caleb could think better of his actions, curiosity, or greed, compelled him to grab it. Bad idea. The instant his calloused hands gripped the cold crimson hook, an agonizing, icy chill shot through his arm, traveling up his neck and into his pounding heart. He felt something slice not just into his flesh, but through his very essence. Night fell unnaturally fast, as though snuffing out the light. He collapsed, stunned yet conscious, onto his ship's slick deck, the hook beside him radiant with an eerie, pulsating glow. When Caleb finally stirred, the surrounding waters boiled, unfamiliar yet alive with malicious intent. His ship no longer swayed naturally. It churned unpredictably, like being toyed with by colossal hands beneath the waves. You might think Caleb would flee, but fear and arrogance made him stay. That night unraveled his reality. The deck echoed with unseen footsteps. Tentacles of half-solid black foam brushed his cheeks whenever he turned to the night sky. Worst of all was the voice, a low, guttural whisper rising from the depths. "Caleb Harker, do you claim what is not yours?" Too shaken to respond, he scrambled, looking for his radio, his weapon, his wits, anything. but the spiraling darkness enveloped his thoughts as surely as it swallowed light. "You're no thief," the voice hissed again. "You are bait." And then it struck. His chest. One harrowing moment of realization as metallic prongs tore through his layers of flesh. The crimson hook embedded itself deeply inside him. With no line visible, as if dragged by unseen chains, Caleb was yanked off his ship, into a violent abyss below. Down and down he plunged into freezing, suffocating darkness. At first he struggled, but soon enough, his screams muted, and the binds of his conscience, like his destiny, slipped into the void. Now, here's the part of the story where the water's surface returned to its eerie calm. Caleb's vessel drifted aimlessly, absent its captain. No trace, no splash, just rotten bait and the occasional blood-red flicker, a memory marking where he'd fallen. Within days, the fisherman's deserted trawler was discovered by coastal patrols, ghostly and empty. Murky rumors spread quickly. Wasn't this exactly why no one went into cursed seas linked to the fabled hook? Yet, some people don't believe in superstition. Some think they'll win against fate. So I ask, my fellow seekers of shadow and intrigue, would you have dared cast your line? Would anyone you know? Because you see, they say Caleb's screams sometimes echo across nearby shores. And that bloody, cursed hook? It's not idle. Somewhere in some unthinkable deep, it's waiting for its next arrogant fool. Beware, my little night owls. Some nets shouldn't be cast. Some hooks cannot be escaped. But we already know, some lessons take more than one soul to learn. And with that, until next time, my sweet little darklings, stay wicked, stay curious, and stay scared.